Hi, this is Larry Werther from Mineola My Home Party. Let's have a brief conversation about non-tax revenue. Of course, you know the village runs a budget of around $22 million a year. Approximately half of that is made up of property taxes, and the other half comes from various sources, including state grants. If we were to be able to increase the source of non-tax revenue here in the village, we would be able to either stabilize or, heaven forbid, even lower taxes to you, the residents of the village of Mineola. I proposed several different sources of non-tax revenue to the mayor. I would have loved to have had him present these to the board in a public hearing, but unfortunately, things get accepted and rejected behind closed doors in the back room. Let's examine just two of them. First of all, I proposed a raise in parking fines here in the village. Now, you might think that our fines right now are a little bit steep, but in a survey of villages and municipalities here on Long Island, actually we're around the middle portion of how they are. So by raising them, his response to me was, well, we can't budget because we don't know how the raising in parking fees or fines would affect it. My answer to him was, go ahead and let's try it and see how much it does raise revenue on the fines situation, and then we can budget the following year. Now, he ignored me on that, but what his compromise was to let's put on another parking enforcement and agent and try to increase revenue that way. That was not quite acceptable, but I said, okay, let's try it. We posted for the job, and this was months ago. I've never heard hide nor hear of it again. He has not hired the person, nor have we heard any names be put forth. Mayor Strauss, what's the problem? Second source of non-tax revenue would have been cellular towers. Now, I know a lot of us don't like them on buildings in our backyards, but there is a structure in the village that's owned by the village that would be perfectly suitable for cell towers. And I've said this many, many times again, only to be quashed in the back room. Take a look at our water tower over on Elm Place. If you look through municipalities throughout Long Island, there are cell towers on water towers in multiple municipalities. These cell towers bring in non-tax revenue of between $100,000 and $200,000 per municipality. Even if we were to bring in just $100,000, that would mean that we would have a 1% tax revenue stream that we wouldn't have to pass on to our residents. When I asked the mayor about it, his response was, I asked John Spellman to reach out to the other attorneys and find out what they felt. Well, of course, if I'm an attorney working for Verizon or AT&T and you come to me and say, hey, why don't you go back to your employers and find out if they'd be willing to put cell towers on a water tower, their response would be no. Why? Because they wouldn't be earning any fees. There would be no legal work necessary if we put out an RFP. So again, a perfectly wonderful source of non-tax revenue was thrown by the wayside. This is Larry Werther from Mineola My Home Party. Please contact me if you have any questions. Thanks much and have a great day.